Marvel's Spider-Man has a massive amount of Easter eggs. Now, here's the thing. It's not quite as many as some of these other series, that we've talked about, mainly Arkham.
Correct.
Like, let's just throw that out there.
It's really not close, to be honest.
And frankly, I'm going to ride the Arkham Easter egg train till the end of time.
Come on, yeah.
So, might as well. Here's the thing, though, with Marvel's Spider-Man. There's so many hidden locations. Some of them are hidden in plain sight. Some of them are Easter eggs you can take pictures of. Some of them are in backpacks. All kinds of stuff. Number 5. The first one is Roxon. Now, here's the thing with Roxon. You're going to say, well, yeah, it's in Miles Morales. Yeah, that's the thing.
You're correct.
There is a lot of foreshadowing here that was never really mentioned. That's interesting. Roxon has their own building in New York already in the first Spider-Man game.
They do. As you're going along, you can get to see it swinging along in the city. And I believe they have a giant building. There's like a smaller lab, too, towards the north side of the map, if I'm not mistaken, which I definitely could be. But it's just kind of a cool nod to what's going to happen in Miles Morales, where they are the main baddie, providing you with all the goods for the most part. And obviously, there's other stuff going on there, but it's just a nice little tie-in to the Miles Morales sequel that just came out.
It's neat to know that they already had some level of success. They have a massive corporate building,
yes,
in New York. That is a lot of money, so we already know that Roxon is doing well just by that here, especially compared to some of the smaller businesses that were Easter eggs. So we already see that their empire is a bit off the ground and that they could be a potential threat, which they do end up being in Miles Morales.
They sure do.
It's just neat to see. It's a small thing. There's not much more to say about it, but it's cool that they included it. And obviously Insomniac had ideas for where to take their own story over time.
Well, yeah, and you were thinking, I guess go off of that a little bit, is when you see the Avengers Tower, I think that's what we thought when we saw that was going to be their sequel. Their plan was going to be, we establish Spider-Man, maybe we go off with a different Avenger, maybe make a solo of Iron Man, I think was a rumor for a while. But obviously, that didn't happen quite yet, and hopefully it happens in the future, I don't know. But we got Miles Morales, and this Roxon Easter egg ended up being the one that really mattered in the end.
And it makes you wonder what else is hidden in these games that could potentially show up in future ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, lots of foreshadowing. Number 4! The second one we have is actually Doctor Strange's house in Greenwich, which is, why is it written as Greenwich? I don't live in New York.
That's bothered me too.
It always bothers me, but, then again, Minnesota is pronounced really dumb too, so I'll just give you that one.
It is?
Yeah, I think so. Some people say Minnesota, dude.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends on your accent.
It's upsetting.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The Sanctum Sanctorum is available to visit from the outside in Greenwich. Now, you can't go in, which sucks. Whenever you can't go in, that is a problem. But the thing with this area that's really fun is this is an iconic area from pretty much all of past, Marvel properties, I guess. All the past Marvel games. It shows up in a lot of them, like some of the Lego stuff. It shows up in Ultimate Alliance, where you can actually go inside the building. It's a big thing in the comics. It's just neat to see. It's another one of those, hey, listen, Doctor Strange exists.
Number 3!
The next one that we have is actually Eddie Brock. There's a lot of speculation on how the Venom symbiote will be included in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 proper, not just the Miles Morales midquel or spin-off sequel, but the actual Peter Parker Spider-Man 2. There is a lot of speculation on what's going to happen with that. We saw it with Harry, the Venom symbiote with Harry, or what we assume is the Venom symbiote with him. We don't know if it will go to Eddie and then he'll be Venom and then it will end up on Peter, or if Peter will get it, he'll get the black suit for a while, it'll corrupt him, then maybe it will go to Eddie, or maybe it'll just be on Harry again. It'll seek out its original host, since it seems like it was created to help heal him.
Yeah.
We don't know what will happen with this, but it is interesting to know that Eddie Brock, the original Venom, does exist in the Insomniac Spider-Man world, because you can actually find a farewell card in one of the backpacks in Marvel Spider-Man, these hidden backpacks with lots of Easter eggs in them already, showing a farewell card for when Peter resigns at the Bugle and leaves. And I made a joke that he betrayed everyone that he knew and loved by not staying there and working there for, years and years of his life.
Right. It's disgusting.
But Eddie Brock actually signs the card and says, hey, it was great working with you.
Which implies that they were buddy-buddy at least. Well, maybe not buddy-buddy, but they were at least
acquaintances,
cool with each other. Yeah, that they were, co-workers and that things were good. Which, is a little bit different from I'm going to rub some dirt in your eye. So it just it
Yeah.
sets a different standard, and I think that you could have that be an interesting thing for a sequel potentially, obviously. And I don't know if Venom was teased for a sequel or anything. I know that, you know, Harry and everything that's going on.
And the
Oscorp.
symbiote
Yeah,
is, we don't know about Venom himself.
Right,
Yeah, we
right.
don't know when that will happen or if.
Or if it'll happen.
But it is interesting that Eddie Brock exists. It also makes you wonder what way things will go. You know, because it does seem like Insomniac is devoted to keeping the spirit of the comics alive, but they are open to changing details. I mean, the Tinkerer was completely reworked, you know, from Miles Morales.
Definitely.
That's totally different than the comics Tinkerer.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and Spider-Man has such a robust rogues gallery that there's so much that they can go, so many different directions that they can go with, and they'll put their own twist on things. And with the ability to do that, now that they've kind of set up Miles as well, there's so much potential for what they could do in the future. So Eddie Brock being a part of that is definitely exciting.
Yeah, it really is. And again, it's another one of those things where it's like, it makes you wonder what else is hidden in plain sight in these games.
Yeah.
Exciting news, the Degenerate J Patreon has been completely reworked, revamped, and dare I say, reloaded with much retribution. Now with access to over 80, that is right, 80 and increasing by the week. Exclusive patron-only videos when you sign up today. Be sure to check it out in the description down below. You will also gain access to behind-the-scenes posts, images, and thank you videos every month, along with thank you shoutouts. I appreciate your support so much on this channel. Thank you for supporting independent creators on YouTube and other platforms, and let's hop right into it. Number 2! Next up, we have Uncle Ben's grave. Now, you can't dance on it.
Which, you know, thanks for nothing.
Yeah,
really.
exactly.
Yeah.
No emotes in this, so I don't know. That's a bit of a problem. Any game without Fortnite emotes is an issue.
I would agree, yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Uncle Ben's grave is actually in a graveyard in northwestern Harlem. This is really interesting. It's actually pretty cool. This is near the northern tip of the map. Like I said, in northwestern Harlem. You go to the graveyard. It's actually kind of hard to find.
It is. You kind of have to wander around, and I think if you hit R3, where you can kind of scan the environment, you'll see the gold, you know, show up on his grave eventually. But it's towards the back, and it's really cool because it actually is a trophy too in the game. So if you're a trophy hunter, it's very satisfying. But it's just a nice little quick thing. It's not like an extensive thing, like in, say, not to always bring it up again, of course, but like in Arkham, when you're paying your respects to your family and you sit there for a good minute and a half or whatever, and it does the whole rotation.
It's a lot faster than that.
It's a lot faster. It's more so of just like hope I'm making you proud, and then you swing away and that's it. But it's still a nice, cool thing that they did, and it's just tucked away, so you do have to work for it a little bit. It's a cool Easter egg.
Well, and it also ties back to the fact that Spider-Man, in a way, was Uncle Ben's dream. Not Spider-Man, the hero, but what he wanted for Peter.
Yes.
He wanted him to be a good man who affected the lives of people around him, was willing to self-sacrifice, was willing to lay down things that he wanted in order to make sure people were happy. And he never knew the scale on which Peter would do that, really, for the most part, but Spider-Man is sort of the fulfillment of Uncle Ben's dream for Peter. You know, that he's this good person, I guess, like, not a moral beacon, but like just a good person in a world where it doesn't have enough of them.
Definitely.
And it's interesting how well it ties that sort of theme into this game. Like, hey, listen, you know, he still does stuff for him. He wants to be a good person, but at the end of the day, this is also about a kid trying to make his dad happy. Like,
Right.
I mean, Uncle
Right.
Ben was his dad. Like, let's be honest. That was his dad. Aunt May was his mom. And at the end of the day, it's a kid trying to do right by his father. So,
Agreed.
it's pretty cool.
Number
one.
Number one. It's number one.
The final one we actually have for this list, we will come back to this for sure in the future, is a little bit of a confirmation that Daredevil exists. Actually, in several ways. One that we're not even going to include here and we'll talk about in a future video.
Absolutely.
But the rest we've kind of wrapped up into one Easter egg, which is Daredevil's law firm is pretty heavily referenced in a couple different spots. Now, it's not in the dialogue, but it's just in the world. And what I mean by that is you can actually find the Nelson and Murdoch offices by name. You know, it's not like, oh, this is the building and
Right.
it would be here. No,
Yeah.
it literally says Nelson and Murdoch offices. They are located on the north end of Hell's Kitchen. It's actually near the center. And one interesting thing about that, by the way, it is located in the correct spot. Good thing they did not mess that up. It is in Hell's Kitchen.
Is that one that you have to take a picture of too?
Yes.
I think, okay, yeah.
So it is, but here's the thing with that. It's like, yes, you are incentivized to find these Easter eggs. However, a lot of people just skip by the photo missions. A lot of people skip by, like
Side
the landmarks,
and,
stuff like that. So it is something that I think a lot of people didn't see. It was very easy to swing by. But also, more importantly than that, there is a backpack found by Spider-Man where he finds a memento, which these are some of the best Easter eggs in the game, that is actually the Nelson and Murdock business card. And it mentions in the dialogue that the lawyer knew that he was Spider-Man. He essentially said, hey, if Spider-Man ever needs a lawyer, contact me. But Peter pointed out, how would he know that he was Spider-Man when the lawyer was blind?
Right. Yeah.
So we know that this is not just... It's not just like, Nelson and Murdock and they're normal lawyers and, Matt Murdock, he's just a normal blind guy. It's not like that. He's Daredevil.
It definitely implies that he's Daredevil and already Daredevil in some respect, which is, once again, it shows that there's a lot of potential for what they could do here, because between Daredevil, Avengers Tower, and now we've established other stuff in Miles Morales as well, there's so much direction for the universe that Insomniac has set up. And Daredevil, I think, would be an awesome addition, and I think fits really well into this universe too, even as like a playable character potentially in the future. I think that he would fit really well in Hell's Kitchen doing his thing over there. So there's, once again, a lot of potential for what they could do in the future with an Easter egg like this, just laying that foundation.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, there's so much here. Just in the game in general, so much substance and so many things that they can go to in the future that'll be really interesting to see. What references there will be in the second game. So,
yeah.
Anyways, let us know what you think in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on these Easter eggs? What are some of your favorites? Or are there maybe any that you want to see in future Spider-Man Easter egg videos? I'm sure we will do a few. There's not as many in this series as some of the other, ones we've talked about, because there's only 2 games so far. But there's still plenty to talk about. So let us know what you think down below. Be sure to check out the Patreon if you are interested. We have reworked it. Over 80 exclusive videos to patrons only. It is fantastic. Some people are calling it the Netflix of Degenerate J. Now, I haven't said that. Listen, I haven't said it's the Netflix of Degenerate J. I'm not saying that, but I've heard a lot of people say it. A lot of good people are saying it's the Netflix of Degenerate J. Lots of people. So be sure to check that out in the description down below. And we have also got a secondary channel, Degenerate Plays, where we play through a lot of different games, podcast style, talking to you in the comments, hitting up lots of different topics, and having a fantastic time. We'll see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day. And as always, stay shway.